Welcome back to Ironbacks Baseball. I'm Darren Clark here with Jesse Seguin at George Taylor Field in the heart of Merritt, Ontario, the place where dreams come true, particularly if you're a fan of Shaggy or House of Paint. Lately, though, the dreams being most realized are those attached to their opponents, with the Ironbacks suffering a couple heartbreaking losses this past week in the form of dramatic ninth-inning home runs from Jamestown Tarp Skunks personnel. And so it was at dusk last night. Score tied 12-12. Hard-throwing Ben Zaire entered the game in the ninth, loaded the bases, nobody out, then went all in on his fastball, hat flying off with every pitch, struck out two before one strike away from getting out of it, while Martin Youth found relief from the July heat in the Lion Dunk Schoolie Pool. Within splashing distance of the drama they were entirely oblivious to, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's own Eric Weeks lined up one of those fastballs and hit it deep into the incoming dusk over the left field fence into the unmanned beer gardens. And all that was left to do was for Ben Zaire to forlornly pick his Ironbacks hat back up from the ground as the game was all but decided on that grand slam as the Ironbacks bowed out 16-12. But it's a brand new day. Another scorching hot one, but brand new nonetheless. And hey, why not play two? Yes, it's a doubleheader as the Ironbacks host once again the Niagara Falls Americans, who had a really rough first inning last night, surrendering 8 runs against the always tough Batavia lineup as they lost for the second straight game against Batavia. Total runs from those back-to-back games, 16-5 Batavia. That second loss dropped the Americans out of first. Now one game behind Batavia, tied for second with Auburn, with the Jamestown Tarp Skunks just 1.5 games out. It's not hard to imagine that this is a hungry Americans team coming to town for more than just the Dairy Queen just around the corner. This doubleheader being a big opportunity for the Americans to grab 2 big wins versus the expansion Ironbacks and reassert themselves atop the West Division. It's also a big opportunity for the Ironbacks to shake off the disappointment of some soul-crushing late-inning losses and have some fun playing spoiler. Jesse, how are you holding up after last night's game?
I had trouble sleeping last night, I think. It wasn't just the heat. It was the fact that the crowd had a good game. I think yesterday was an excellent game for the most part.
Yeah.
They battled back. They took a commanding lead there after a tough second inning themselves. They were up 12-7 for much part of the game. But as you mentioned there, that
whittled away.
Grand slam by Eric Weeks put the game away. And again, for the second time in a week to have it happen to us in that kind of juncture. But as you mentioned, new day. I think the fans are rolling in here. We're ready for a good one. We're moments away from first pitch. I think we'll take a quick break here and get us all set up with our lineups momentarily.
Sounds good.
That actually.
center fielder, number 2, Tommy Matei. Batting second, the second baseman, number 31, Ian Plum. Batting third, the right fielder, number 13, Derek Gisamonte. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 20, Nick Pizzat. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 21, Carmen Panero. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 42, Christopher Gazaldo. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 17, Logan Stickler. Batting eighth at third base, number 4, Alan Ramos. Batting ninth, the extra hitter, number 14, Jack Stenoff. And batting 10th, the left fielder, number 27, Liam Schott. Pitching will be number 51, Joseph Chai. Music?
After a good ride in first place, the Americans fell out of that spot, dropping 2 out of 3 to Tavia Monk Dogs. However, the team will look to get back on track in a doubleheader against a team they've won against all season long. It's the Americans. It's the Ironbacks. The battle for the balls continues.
Okay, leading off from Woodstock, Ontario, the right fielder, number 25, Alex Key. From Sudbury, batting second, the shortstop, number 7, Devin Bedore. From Kitchener, the second baseman, number 10, Andrew Bishop. From Bismarck, North Dakota, the designated hitter, number 15, Marcus Butts. From Copaconk, Ontario, the catcher, number 20, Brock Granger. Batting sixth, the extra hitter from Burlington, Ontario, number 5, Carter Shinn. From the hometown of St. Catharines, your first baseman, number 19, Bryce Bedrosian.
For this game between the Americans and Ironbacks, it's going to be a doubleheader today here from George Taylor.
From Welland, center fielder, number 27, Chase Hummel.
Lots of baseball to be played here.
From Welland, third baseman, number 22, Caden Wilson.
Get you the American lineup for just a second.
From St. Catharines, left fielder, number 24, Nolan Balin.
Very hot day out.
And pitching today, number 44, Jack Kemp from Niagara Falls.
Time being here, we'll try and push through here. They both brought back. Now we are going to pause for the national anthems.
Fans, we ask that you please rise if you are able, remove your caps, and sing along if you'd like, as we honor both Canada and the United States. First, the national anthem of the United States will be played, followed by the singing of O Canada.
We're back here to George Taylor Field, getting ready for the first pitch between the Niagara Ironbacks and the Niagara Falls Americans. The High Sox are in play. That means one thing. They're in town because the Americans are the only team that seems to sport the High Sox. Much to Darren's chagrin there, he really appreciates a good High Sock.
I do.
But we got opening pitcher today for the Ironbacks is Jack Kemp on the mound. Right-hander, scored a 7.71 ERA. We've seen Kemp before, Darren. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, we've seen good old Brock University's finest. We got a couple in the lineup today. We got Phelan and Jack Kemp. Jack Kemp out of Niagara Falls, Ontario. Luke Weaver, his favorite player, which is an interesting choice. Like, you're being very selective.
Wonder how he's felt over the last couple of days with the Yankees falling
out
of first
I know.
place.
Luke Weaver's falling on hard times.
He's didn't look good in that Yankees Jays series either. So,
but Jack Kemp is really good. I think what you're pretty straightforward, hard throwing, and we'll see. I mean, I think the big thing for Jack is to have his secondary pitches working a little bit. But he can bring it. He's touching 90 with the fastball.
That's what you need here. That's, I think, what we've seen from our Ironbacks pitchers over the last couple of weeks is a bit more attacking hitters, keep the guys off the plate, kind of going right at them instead of trying to work it around a little bit, making them hit it. And, it's kind of working out well for them. So, see if they can do it today.
I think it was one of my favorite guys to chat with was Jack, big PB. I think you were there for the PB and J fan.
That's right, I was, yeah.
Big Friends fan, Tragically Hip fan.
Right.
Juggler, like Burgoying juggler. I believe he told us he's at 3 items, looking on incorporating a 4th.
Says it wasn't that hard to learn either.
Yeah.
So I'm not one to give it a try. I don't know if I'd be able to complete 2, but
it's a good segue because we'll see how he can juggle the Americans lineup.
That's
today.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. They've been falling on hard times, like you said. Losers are 2 in a row. Losing a tough one last night to those pesky Batavia Muck Dogs.
Yeah.
Who just scratched it or clawing themselves to first place in this West Division.
And we've seen a lot of these teams, Batavia, the Americans, and the Tarp Skunks.
You're right. I was saying to you earlier, I don't think I've seen another team play, quite frankly.
We see, it's true. We've got a steady diet of these guys. And it's interesting that you start to see the nuanced differences between a team. And the Americans, what they've really done and they've been good against us every game, is just really wear out the pitching.
Right.
They're going to make you throw strikes, and they put the ball in play. And I think the X factor we saw last night was this Merritt infield, because it's a rocky bit of business out there.
We touched base on it being the infield where balls go to die, and they were all over the place yesterday for both teams, not just the Ironbacks struggling. The Tarpscons had their troubles as well with that balls hitting the infield. Leading off for the Niagara Falls Americans today, we got Tommy Mathey playing center field. It's about 161 on the year.
From
Sporting the High Sox.
Sporting the High Sox from Conroe, Texas. Attends Panola College.
First pitch in there, fouled off for a strike.
Big scuba diver, Mr. Mathey.
Where is he from?
He's from Conroe, Texas.
They do a lot of scuba diving in Texas.
Apparently. Well, these days, like, not to make light of that because it's a very serious thing, but.
Sets.
Nice curveball. Look at that. Like you were talking about, you want to see. And now here's the test early. You got him down 0-2. He chased the first pitch inside. What are you going to do here? With the 0-2 count being a theme.
Right. Well, you got to go attack the hitters and make it a pitch that you want to swing at, right? Try to get something. Just a little late on that one for a foul back. But as you allude to, you want to make it a pitch that's going to mean something, not be way outside.
Yeah,
kind of lose that.
But at the same time, they kind of been burned by right in the meat of the zone sometimes on 0-2 pitches.
Yes.
So where's the midway point between those two things?
It's a shot down to first base. The Petrosian's going to make the play on his own for the first out of the inning.
Busted him inside. Bedrosian playing first means one of our favorite things is happening today.
That's right. We got Andrew Bishop playing second base.
Yeah. Hot dog eating champion, second baseman.
That's right.
And he always surprises. He's athletic out there. He's good.
He's really good at second base. The couple times we've seen him play, we've been thoroughly surprised with his glove work and his speed over there at second base.
Ian Wang from Surrey, BC.
Chops one to that aforementioned Andrew Bishop, who makes the play to Petrosian for a good Jack Kemp, making quick work here of the Americans.
That was wild how that bounced 2 feet in front of the plate and took one hop to Bishop.
Right.
So thus far the infield is...
We did see him trying to water it before the game started. It is a hot one in downtown Marion today.
It is.
This the ground, which is most likely clay, very hard today. Kemp takes the first pitch down and away for ball 1. Derek Gismondi, the right fielder, batting now for the Americans. He's hitting 156 on the year.
Gismondi from Rhode Island, 10th St. Mary.
He's outside again, ball 2. Upstairs for ball 3. Would you say Gismondi has Costanza wallet in his back pocket?
He's got the Costanza wallet. He's
that
working
like
that. That's a big
exercise there. That is
the oven
like 2
mitt.
wallets.
Yeah. Exercise oven mitt going on in the back pocket. He's got doesn't got the high socks.
Nope, with 4 straight pitches. That's going to be a work for Gismondi to keep the Americans getting alive here.
Yank that one. Tried a little too hard on that one.
Pass the catcher here for the Americans, batting 227 on the year.
I feel like the last time Pass was here was real good.
He was, yep. Yeah, he's one of the better hitters you see in their lineup today.
And he's really not been that great outside of here.
Maybe it's just the Meriden air, you know?
I guess it's got to be.
Down and away.
This I remember this from Kemp's last outing. Is sometimes he loses his form a little bit. He's usually pretty good at refinding it, as those last 2 pitches have been.
He's having a hard time hitting the strike zone now. He's got 5 straight balls, my mistake.
Oh,
that one gets away from the catcher. Let's go to advance Gismondi to second base.
And one thing to remember about, and you remember at times like this, is Kemp is a late comer to the pitching party, really.
Yep.
Kind of found it at a Ferguson Jenkins camp there in Welland, Ontario, where he was hitting over 80 and thought maybe pitching is the thing for me.
Ooh. Then he goes inside and hits Nick Pass. That's going to put runners at first and second now. The pitching coach is on his way to go chat with Jack Kemp. They maybe calm him down. He's having a hard time hitting the strike zone. I think this is probably a good idea. Just go out there, just talk him down a little bit, get him focused on throwing strikes.
Yeah, we talked last night about what a hindrance thinking can be when you're in game action,
right,
you know?
Right.
And you could see him really thinking through the delivery.
That's right.
And the more he thinks, the worse and more awkward. It's like becomes like Charles Barkley's golf swing. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And that is an awkward golf swing.
Right. That's the result of just thinking too much about something. That long journey into self-doubt.
Yeah, and we saw it even with the infielders too. We touched base on that in yesterday's game, right? Once you kind of see how the infield plays, it gets in your head a little bit, and now you're almost overthinking the hops and the way the ball's traveling, right?
Yeah, that was the context for yesterday, absolutely. But now we're seeing a guy who's got to kind of refine that kind of natural, loose rhythm that he has when he's going well. I mean, there's a lot to love about Jack Kemp when he's kind of feeling it out there. It's not right now.
Let's see if that conversation with the pitching coach. Not quite yet. It's still another ball there, just a little bit outside. Kemp sets in here. Takes it way inside now. He's having trouble locating that zone.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like you just needs to play catch with the catcher a little bit here. You know, don't overthink it too much. Just play catch, man.
It's going to be another ball just inside for all three. Kemp's in danger of load the bases here.
A 338 hitter. Don't want to mess with that. The Ironbacks. A 3-0 pitch.
It's going to be
Did he hit him?
Off the hand there. Hits another batter. Back-to-back batters hit. Jack Kemp. That's going to load the bases for the dangerous Chris Gazaldo, the shortstop, batting 338 for the Americans. This is maybe not the guy you want to come up the bat right now, Dan.
Yeah. Tough out. Gets his bat on the ball a lot. We've seen Gazaldo up here quite a bit, and he really has some long at bats and makes the pitcher work. There you go.
That's it. Strike one there on Gazaldo. And we say, and the damage putting the runners on base, they are just 1 out away from getting out of this inning. So I think that's what you really got to focus on here for Jack Kemp.
Ooh. 2 curveballs in a row.
Pitch there.
Yep.
I think he kind of threw Gazaldo off on that one with the way he swung.
And that's pretty nervy when you're struggling. You know that the hitter's coming in thinking, I'm going to see a fastball.
That's right.
Right? They're going to. When a pitcher's struggling to find it, you can usually kind of sit there and think, I'm going to get some fastballs. 2 curveballs to start him off. 3.
There it is. Strike
Nice
3. Great work by Jack Kemp getting out of danger there. And the score is 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. Hey, welcome back here to George Taylor Field for the bottom of the first inning. It's 0-0 between the Ironbacks and the Niagara Falls Americans. Pitcher for the Americans, Joseph Chaya, sporting a 7.30 ERA. Darren, what can you tell us about Joseph Chaya?
He's from Clarence, New York. Plays for the Niagara Community College Thunderwolves. Hasn't pitched a whole lot in college. It's another lefty for Niagara to contend with, and that's been a steady diet of lefties the
We've
last
been seeing
week
a lot of left-handers lately, for sure, but it hasn't given any trouble to our leadoff man today, Alex Keene for the Ironbacks leading off. Hitting 316 and just starting to warm up a little bit there. We've really seen some great at-bats for him in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it's so dialed in.
Right?
He and Carter Shin absolutely been the most dialed in hitters on his team.
Absolutely.
Fair argument for Butts and man,
right at the pitcher, but he makes it stop into the glove. That could have been trouble, but
that was a
pitcher
rip.
Looks okay for a loud out there.
As if on cue, Keane drills one.
Right, and I think that's what I was going to say if this at-bat went a little longer there was, even as well as he's been hitting, he's been missing some fat pitches that could be doing even more damage, right? So, Devin Medora now playing shortstop today. And speaking of another guy who's starting to heat up a little bit at the plate, is Devin Medora.
He looked better. He was definitely lost in the wilderness there at the plate. The last couple games, though, I think he has 4 hits the last couple games. So
that's right. He had a big 2 RBI single last game to get that Ironbacks rolling there in the big 3rd inning in yesterday's ballgame.
Good for Chaya for just shaking off. I mean, that ball was ripped right into him, literally into him.
Right. He got the glove on it, too. Again, it could have been dangerous right off the shin there, the way that ball was traveling. It's 1-1 here, the count to Devin Medora. Medora pops it up into the stands there, off the seat, another seat, and another seat. And the kids are after it.
Good for them. Seems pretty excited.
It's a shot to right field by Medora. Just gets a little under it, though. And right fielder's going to catch it for the first out.
Such an interesting swing because to me, conventionally, I think like it's pulling.
Yeah, that one looks like he just got a little under it too, right?
But I mean, there's been really good hitters who've made a living off of that similar kind of the Chiro.
Yeah.
So who am I to?
Everyone's favorite second baseman here in the press box, Andrew Bishop, up now.
And that's a contest, though, for a favorite second baseman because you got Kakeru Tsukamoto.
Right. Darren's got a lot of options here. He's got to make a decision. You can't decide. Today's flavor of the day, though, is Andrew Bishop. Yeah. So
we might see some Kakeru in Game 2.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep. Especially in this heat today, you'll probably see some lineup changes for Game 2. It's at for 4 o'clock later this afternoon between these Americans. Just in on the hands a little bit. Lazy fly ball to left center. Could be a little collision. Nobody comes up with it.
Whoa.
The center fielder and the right fielder get those signals crossed, and nobody comes up with the ball. And now it looks like the right fielder for the Americans.
He's grabbing his ankle.
Derek Gismondi's grabbing his ankle. He's looking a little painful out there. They're bringing the trainer out.
That was
Bishop.
Such a tweener, with the second baseman coming out there. And
it was kind of a perfect storm for something bad to happen. And it did. It did. Gismondi's down right now. He's looking at a lot of amount of pain.
That's always a tough one for the fielders because it's like one you think maybe you've got, but you don't call it because you're not absolutely certain. And all 3 guys seem to be in the same kind of headspace.
Right. Just looking at the ball too, right? Tracking the ball and not paying attention to where your other players are at.
And then it looked like, it was quite the elaborate kind of move to get out of the way there by Gismondi.
So I wonder if maybe it was the landing on there.
I think it was a landing, because it was nothing in the air. He just sort of, I think, realized at the last second that he was way closer to the center fielder than he'd hoped.
And that almost scared him right off there, right? Mathey coming in there, just maybe they couldn't hear each other, even yelling, saying, I got it. And
Field here, Mathey, who hasn't played a ton out there this season so far. So you got 2 guys who haven't played together a lot,
right?
Too, which might have played a factor.
He's up on his feet though. That's a good sign.
Yes, clapping from the crowd as he's back up. Hopefully, it's just something he can walk off.
Look like he's going to stay in the game there. He's going to give a little jog out back to his spot in right field and see how he's doing. As we return there, Andrew Bishop does stand on first base with the single. That's bringing up Marcus Butts with the walk-up song Kids. DH today, hit .311. Wasn't in the lineup yesterday. However, he has been doing really well on the season as well. Again, another guy that you really can see kind of dialing it in there lately. Putting the barrel on the ball, making things happen. So that's right down there, just foul on the third baseline.
And that's classic Marcus Butts right there. Makes a lot of hard contact.
Yep.
You got to earn it up there against him. I mean, the big four for them have been Shin, Keene, Butts, Gatens.
Yep,
and then
Gatens.
You're looking for guys like Bishop to find it and join the party, so to speak.
Ooh, that's strike two. Chaya gets ahead of the count 0-2 early here to Marcus Butts.
It's a good pitch from Chaya.
Upstairs, ball one.
So that's a good pitch. That's a good 0-2 pitch.
Now the right idea, right? Kind of putting him in the wheelhouse there, making it something that maybe you can hit, and maybe not be very dangerous.
I haven't seen a lot of slow stuff from Chaya here. Let's see if he tries it now. A little wrinkle. There it is. Curveball, but that's the low side.
Let's go to even the count. 2-2 to Marcus Butts.
You kind of like where Butts is right now.
Right.
Getting himself back to 2-2. He's seen the curveball. Chaya didn't seem too comfortable throwing it.
Inside again, same pitch. That's going to make it a full count here to Marcus Butts.
Chaya, ideally, you can put your curveball in for a strike.
Right.
But I don't know how comfortable. He looked pretty awkward throwing it there.
Side again. Let's go to walk Marcus Butts and put runners at first and second here for Brock Granger, the catcher, batting .233 for the Ironbacks.
Granger, we've seen a lot of signs of life from.
We have, and he's got a power in that bat.
Yeah.
I won't tell you what field he hits it to or what ballpark he hits it out of, but he has hit a home run this season.
Let's not revisit that from yesterday. The old, which one's Brock Granger and which one's Connor Gatens? Again, even though they totally hit different ways and are very different people, and we should know
play different positions.
The only two guys who've hit home runs.
You know, and I think Manager Griffin is playing with us up there in the press box by putting him batting back-to-back yesterday. It made it even more difficult. It's a strike in
Good
there.
Pitch.
It's a nice
Good
pitch by Chaya.
It's a good way to start him out. High and tight fastball. Chaya's pretty much just working the fastball, and that's it for strikes so far.
Ooh. Just foul down the first base line there. Again, getting ahead in the count again, 0-2. Back-to-back hitters here.
Got the PA guy pretty excited.
He did, yeah. Slow dribbler, ground ball, foul.
Yeah, those exclamation points are always ready to come.
He just hears that crack of the bat and immediately thinks it's something.
0-2 count. See if Chaya can do better with this one than the last one. Oh,
just
goodness.
Popped up foul. That's going to get out of play, though, it looks of it. Off the dugout.
See, that was curveball, and that was, I mean, the location wasn't one that he could do much with, but the pitch was.
Yeah.
I mean, that curveball really makes itself known far from home plate.
Right.
So you know
it's coming.
You got a big heads up on it.
It's again, runners going.
No.
Bishop down.
Why in the
base.
world?
Picked off. That's going to end the inning here. 2 runners left aboard. The score is still 0-0 as you head to the top of the second. Welcome back here to George Taylor Field. We got the top of the second inning. Last inning, the Ironbacks left 2 runners aboard. Couldn't cash them in. Let's go to lead here to the Americans with, sorry?
Some more base running follies.
Base running follies. I didn't want to bring it up. I know we have a hard time maybe accepting some blunders there. I didn't hear the scream from the dugout this game either. That maybe have removed away from their decision making, and that maybe is why he was caught in no man's land.
Maybe.
But
it was choices. It's an interesting choice. And we've talked before. They've been very aggressive on the bases. Bishop and Keene in particular kind of surprised us.
Right. The ones that you maybe don't think will be doing all the majority of the base stealing seem to be the most active there on the base paths.
But we had the same play last night. Briggs tried to steal third and was out by 15 feet or what have you. And talking about giving away outs was kind of an issue yesterday, right?
Right.
Nice curveball. Nice curveball. I'll tell you, when he gets dialed in, it's a beautiful thing for Jack Kemp.
And I think getting out of that bases loaded jam he had in the first inning maybe gives him a little bit of confidence now. He can settle down and know he can work with his pitches he's got, right?
He's actually had more success with his curveball and his fastball so far. There it is again.
There it is, another strikeout. Back-to-back Ks. Logan Stickler goes down looking.
Gotcha.
First out here for the Ironbacks in the second inning.
Uncle Charlie has come out to the game today and is ready for action.
Good. Let's go to bring up the third baseman, Alan Ramos. He's hitting .226 on the year, but as you mentioned, Darren, at the top of the segment, big error in last night's game for the Americans.
Yeah, that 8-run inning, only 3 of against Batavia last night is fighting for first place with the old Muck Dogs, and Ramos made an error in that inning, leading to 500 runs.
And that was pretty much the ball game. You look at that, 8 runs in that first inning. The Americans just couldn't get back into the game at that point.
Yeah, Batavia only scored 1 run from that point forward.
Right. Kind of a little bit like yesterday's game for the Ironbacks, actually. I think you were shell-shocked. You were in disarray. You had no idea what to do with yourself.
I didn't know what to say. The second they give up 7 runs. And then the third, they score 10 runs. It was a study in contrast and excess.
But the point I was trying to make there, they brought in Eddie Delansky. He completely stymied.
Delansky and then Will Taylor came in, and they were just lights out. There's that curveball. He's just crushing him with the curveball right now.
So it's a 1-1 count here to Ramos.
Another one. Another one.
Strike 2. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I say.
Well, we saw a little bit last night about what can happen if you throw the same pitch too many times.
I was trying not to think about last night there. Outside of the big 10-run inning, I didn't. Another K there.
That was a fastball.
Ramos, maybe that's what he's doing. He's setting you up with his curveball to blow the heat by you.
Yeah. Well, for sure, when you step up there and see 2 really good curveballs, that's a really good curveball.
That's right.
So you're going to have trouble hitting that, even if you know it's coming, and then you got a fastball up high in the zone. And that's when you see guys start going out of the zone. If you can make them uncomfortable early. With stuff in the zone, it's hard to hit.
That's right. And they'll start chasing pitches, too, and you start working away corners and stuff as well. Jack Satinoff up here, our favorite extra hitter position.
Jack Satinoff's a pretty good name.
He's hitting 118 on the year, so he's having trouble getting it going.
I was going to say Jack Satinoff is like an evil villain's name, but I think it's like the evil villain's DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We've alluded to him being sort of like a lawyer or like an injury lawyer.
Did we do that last time? Jack Satinoff, yeah, that's right. We need somebody on a team. Who could it be? Like, who would be his partner?
And he finds a hole in the infield there.
Who are the guys? Celino and Barnes?
Celino and Barnes.
So we got to pick a partner for Jack Satinoff.
How about like Satinoff and Gazaldo?
Satinoff, Gazaldo, Satinoff and Schott?
Yeah, you know, that part's pretty good, right? The double S's there, right?
Yeah, that's the bottom of the order.
Right.
Satinoff and Schott's pretty good.
Now we think we just got to think of a jingle for him. We're thinking of a jingle, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder if he's studying law. That would be kind of ironic, actually.
Well, let's find out. Usually, I mean...
A fielder, Ian Schott, slow dribbler right through Andrew Bishop's legs. Satinoff making his way to third. He's safe.
Nice toss by
Liam
Keane.
Schott gets his first hit on the season.
That's not a hit. That's an error all day, every day.
Well, yeah.
I know even these confusing times, that's an error all day, every day. I think Bishop got twisted up by the base runner.
Twisted up by the base runner. Maybe put a little blame to the infield of George Taylor Field there, because maybe it hit a pebble. We don't know.
No, I could see that coming all the way because the runner went right past the ball at the last second, and Bishop.
First pitch swinging there to the leadoff man, Tommy Mathey, who lined out to Bryce Pedrosian the first at-bat of the game in the first inning. Comes up here with runners at first and third, 2 outs. Kemp almost escaped.
Another good curveball there.
Undamaged there, but the inning continues on an error by
elicited
Andrew Bishop at second base.
Weak contact.
Just outside for ball 1.
Love to see him bust him inside with a fastball. Mathey really on top of the plate here. There you go.
It's the corner of the outside for strike 2. I think with him hovering the plate so much like he is, maybe going inside, kind of shake him off a little bit.
Yeah, that was kind of over the middle of the plate, really, but it's a good fastball.
I think we've touched on this before. Playing the Americans, a lot of their batters hang right over top of that plate. Must be a game plan. I think they've discussed there. Pitchers work outside. Goes, in fact, does go inside, but it's a little too far inside for ball 2.
Yeah, muscled up on that one a little bit. I think when Kemp's going best, there's just a fluidity to his motion. You know what I mean? There's an ease to it. When he tightens up a little bit, that's when you start seeing pitches go wayward.
It seems to be maybe when you get those runners on base, right? Maybe that's playing a little bit into his head. Another little chop on the second base there. Bishop's got that one. Toss the Petrosian for the out. Down go the Americans in the second. Score still 0-0. We head to the bottom of the inning. Hey, welcome back here to George Taylor Field for the bottom of the second inning. We got zeros across the board between the Niagara Ironbacks and the Niagara Falls Americans. Brock Granger up to bat.
It's always good to see Will Cordero was out on the field there between innings. Former Expo, former Bo Sox. Good hitter, good player.
He's probably got some good knowledge here to give to these Niagara Falls Americans, right? Being a former Major League ball player.
For me, it just brings back memories of those really good Expos teams.
Yeah.
The one that was, I can't remember what year it was when the league shut down.
95.
And
you forget about how good they were,
They
too, right?
were, and I remember just before it shut down, that Expos went on a run and ran over the Braves in 3 straight games.
Yep.
And it was such a big thing for them because you remember that Braves team was so
money,
dominant
right?
for so long.
Early 90s with Glavine and Maddox.
And there's that moment when a team's trying to catch a great team, then that was their moment where they were no longer intimidated by them. They knew they could beat them, and then the league shut down.
That's right, and that was almost the end of the Expos at that point too, right?
Yeah.
Came back, and they kind of were never the same, and then they moved on to Washington.
And you forget about that context where you had to be a great team to make the playoffs.
Yes.
Because that context doesn't exist anymore.
It's a high fly ball there by Brock Granger. The left fielder
goodness.
can't come up with it as well. Another misunderstanding there in the outfield. I think their signals got crossed again with center fielder Tommy Mathey and left fielder Liam Schode. Again, these guys aren't playing a lot together. I think maybe they're missing the signals or something, but the ball drops again.
Yeah, that was I'm not sure how much the sun may have played a little bit of a role in that. That one hung up there for a long time. I think it went a lot further than they anticipated at first.
Yeah.
And then it feels like the communication between the outfielders, it's to what you just said, is some guys getting used to each other out there.
That's right. That's going to put Granger up on second base, which is good news here. Another runner starting the game. The Ironbacks.
Corners in is a surprise. I guess they're not familiar. I can't imagine Shin bunting here. He's been one of their best hitters, so I'm a bit surprised to see the first baseman on the lip of the grass down there. I mean, that's good for Shin. There's a little more space to knock a hit through. He's just been a line drive machine for Ironbacks.
Unbelievable in yesterday's game.
Yeah.
In the field and at bat. Getting a day off in the field today, the extra hitter for the Ironbacks. Hitting in the 6-hole today. Usually he's a leadoff hitter, shaking things up.
That's a surprise. Like, he certainly didn't do anything wrong from that leadoff spot.
But maybe you're trying to space things out a little bit, right? Get a little bit of damage down the low in the lineup, and I think maybe that's what we've kind of seen here. So you get your top half is getting on base and looking for something in the bottom half to kind of drive in some of those runs.
And if the bottom of the order is going to be successful today, it's going to be the local guys.
Yep.
Right? Bedrosian, Wilson.
Coming inside, that's going to get away from that catcher.
That hit him.
Passed, and that's going to...
Yep. Well, Shin says it hit him.
I think Shin says.
But the umpire seems unconvinced. Doesn't seem like something Carter Shin would make up, given he really likes to hit.
Yes.
So I'll take him at his word, but the umpire didn't see it. This might not be the worst thing for the Ironbacks anyway.
It does advance Granger to third base here. Wild pitch thrown by
infield's in.
Chaya.
That's a surprise.
That's a lazy fly ball in the right field. That's going to just foul. That could have been trouble there. It was a slow dribbler. And right fielder, Gismondi, had to get on his horse and chase after that one.
The Americans are anticipating a low-scoring affair. Having their infield in here is a bit of a shocker.
Yeah.
Now they're moving back a step with 2 strikes. The middle infielders, at least.
Chopper over the head of the third baseman. That's going to score Granger. The Ironbacks take the lead here at the bottom of the second inning. It's 1-0 and another RBI.
Yeah. And that volatile Merritt infield can give it, they could take it away. And at this particular occasion, and having a third baseman playing in like that came in handy.
I think you got to play the infield as your home advantage now, knowing you can chop it off home plate and get 35 feet of air.
Bedrosian, who had
Talk about guys maybe heating up a little bit. Bedrosian again had some really nice at-bats yesterday.
That's a tough call to open this at-bat for him. Yeah, he did look better yesterday. Just more comfortable up there. We'll see how he does today against Chaya.
Yeah, he got things going in that third inning there with that first pitch base hit in the right field.
That was a good rip, too.
It was. On the count here to Bedrosian.
That's all local boys at the bottom of the lineup. Bedrosian, Hubble, Wilson, Phelan.
Just inside there. 1-2 the count.
So Niagara's got to help out Niagara a little bit. today.
There's a lot of Niagara today, actually.
Yep.
Niagara Falls, Niagara Ironbacks. Just outside. Count 2-2.
It's a good take. You can see Chaya starting to get dialed into the strike zone a little bit more with the off-speed stuff, and that's going to make him way more effective.
Yeah,
obviously,
we were saw him in his warm-up working a little bit on that curveball, right?
It's funny to see guys in the warm-up look real comfortable, and then game action happens, and which is natural, right?
Yeah, you get a batter in there, things change a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Let's go to get a full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Petrosian. Nice way to battle back there. Payoff pitch coming in. Swinging on this. That's going to be a strikeout. First strikeout for Chaya. 1 out here. Bringing Chase Hubble, center fielder for the Ironbacks. In 204 on the year.
Signs of life, though, from Hubble lately. Always looks good in the field. See a little more possibilities at the plate lately, hitting the ball a little harder. A little more authority.
He was on base a couple times yesterday, single and a hit by pitch.
Hubble attending Bismarck State University from Welland, Ontario.
Shot up the center. That's a nice hit there by Chase Hubble. Nothing too fancy, just right up the gut there. Puts runners at first and second with 1 out for Caden Wilson, the third baseman.
That's all you want to see out of Hubble. He's always competitive at the plate. It's nice to see him start lining up balls and hitting them hard.
Yeah, and that was exactly what you want. Finding the hole in the infield there, just getting on base. Nice and easy stroke.
Caden Wilson attends Jamestown College. Ooh.
Just inside there for ball 1.
For a little contact here. Pretty big gap between first and second there.
Just upstairs for ball 2. The runners are getting some nice leads off of first and second as well. I think the infielders for the Americans are not holding them off at all. Stairs again.
3-0.
3. We're having a little hard time for Chaya finding the strike zone of this at bat for Caden Wilson.
And you could see Chaya's body language over the course of this inning kind of deteriorate to a certain extent. Like he's just not that comfortable out there right now. You can almost tell the status for a pitcher, the state of their game, by how much they mess around with the rubber.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen Riseberry for the Ironbacks at times struggle with his comfort level of the mound. It's usually when things are going a little bit south.
Having a really heavy conversation with the mountain there, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Looking for answers, digging down a hole. Hopefully maybe they'll find something. It's kind of like looking at a page and hoping the answers just kind of materialize to you, even though there's no end in sight.
Walked him.
Inside, walks him on 4 straight pitches. That's going to load the bases here. 1 out. St. Catherine's own, Brock University's own, our favorite Ironback with a mustache.
Does he have the mustache going right now,
It looks like it's coming back in. I think he's heard the cries. The fans are calling for it.
Yeah, there's a large demand.
Everybody wants the mustache.
A fan base just rose up and we're like, we want that mustache back.
We can make Ironback mustache T-shirts, just put him in the crowd there.
And he was, once you took away his mustache, and suddenly became an entirely different guy, like really eager at the plate, swinging, and we'll see if he starts getting back to that Nolan Phelan 8-pitch count at bats.
And that's what you need here too, with the bases loaded. Just kind of get Chaya working, right?
And Chaya and the strike zone are entirely estranged right now. Like they are in a bad relationship.
It's kind of like Jack Kemp's first inning almost there, right? Where he just couldn't find the strike zone. Chaya inside. That's 7 straight.
It's totally uncompetitive pitches. Like if you're failing, you don't even think about swinging at those pitches. They're so far away.
Right now, at the same time, you'd be thinking just a meatball down the center of the plate to try to get it over there. Hawks won 4 straight pitches. That's 8 straight balls thrown by Joseph Chaya. That's going to bring in another run for the Ironbacks with the walk. Bases are still loaded.
And if
Carter Shin comes home for the run.
If you think Alex Keene right now, one of the hottest hitters on his team.
Right. This is like the perfect situation here for Alex Keene. Bases loaded, 1 out. Pitcher struggling on the mound, trying to throw strikes.
You got to think it's a fastball's coming to you. It's just waiting for one in the heart.
There it is right there, just foul in the left field. Right idea. Just looking for that pitch right down over the plate. Make them pay.
Look for a ball to hit hard. And that's all he's done the last 2 weeks is hit balls hard. So
as you said, even the outs are loud.
This is tough on the infielders too, who've been standing around a lot.
Lots of walks, not a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Hard hit out there to center field.
That ball
Center field is going back. That's carried off the fence. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Clears the bases. Keene slides in for a triple. Ironbacks clears the bases. As you said, Darren, Keene rockets that one to center field off the Lancer side.
Just slicing and slicing. That's dead center. That's 380 feet away. That's a strong man hitting the ball.
That's right.
Ball hard.
That's the power you've been looking for from Alex Keene.
And once again, the Lancer is the answer.
That's right. I think that's the side. Just hit it to the Lancer side, all the problems will disappear. And it is 5-0 Ironbacks here.
And then, like we said, you're going up there as Keene. You're just like, he's only going to throw me the fastball.
Right.
Because
you've been looking for it because he's having trouble hitting the zone. Got Devin Medora up here. He flied out to right field his first at bat.
A lot of signs here from Richard Griffin. Infield's in.
Again,
I'm shocked the infield's in at this point where you just got to think Chaya's just
showing bunt.
See, that was, you know what, like when you see Griffin go to that much effort for the sign, what do you think the sign is? Yeah, he was thinking about a bunt.
Now, I wouldn't know why you'd be bunting with the infield in, though. Some moonshot there in the infield. Now the infield's got a shallow back. This could be trouble. It drops.
Oh my goodness.
Keene comes in this score. Medora stands on first. It is 6-0 Ironbacks. I think the Americans are getting their signals crossed in this outfield. They bring the infield in, and the second baseman and the shortstop have to travel a mile to go for that pop fly.
I'll tell you, I don't know these Americans. We've seen them a lot, but this is a look I have not seen from them. I mean, it's been the old Baskin Robbins of ugly thus far for the Americans, who have always been like stellar on defense. It's a bit of a surprise.
It has definitely evaded them today.
Yeah.
Bishop up the plate. Bishop singled back in the first inning, but then was picked off by a country mile.
This is
trying to run to third base.
This is tough when you're in this as a competitor, when absolutely nothing is going right for you. It's tough to get yourself out of that hole. And for Chaya, this must seem like an eternity out here.
Just begging for the inning to be over here.
Yeah.
Still 2 outs away. There's a shot by Bishop to right field. Well, that looks good. Look, it's going to drop again. Can't make the play, but they're going to get the force out there. As Medora held up thinking that ball would be caught. I thought the ball was going to be caught. And I don't know why I thought that. Every ball is dropped in the outfield today. So
right. But I can't blame Medora.
Right, because that's the play. You're thinking it's going to be caught. So you also don't want to get caught off, right? But
I hear you. My first thought was like, of course this isn't going to be caught. Right. Because this is an inning where nothing gets caught.
Right. Marcus Butts here up to plate. The 10th batter for the Ironbacks is hitting. We are going to be batting through again, potentially.
That's got to be that's a break Chaya needed out there. It's like an eternity out on the mound here.
Bishop going to second. Nobody there. Great read by Andrew Bishop. Takes second base easily. Putting him in the...
Looking for a little redemption from getting caught going to third there.
We'll give him that. Even things up there. Nobody home at second base, so I think the infielders for the Americans are just in their heads a little bit. There's a dribbler there by Butts to second base. He makes the throw. The damage has been done here for the Ironbacks. 6-0 in the second inning as we head to the top of the third. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's the top of the third inning. The Ironbacks batted around that inning. 10 batters to the plate, scoring 6 runs. Great inning there, but I think the lesson we can learn just from the last couple of games here is don't let up. Don't take the foot off the gas. Just keep putting runs on the board. Keep attacking the pitchers there.
Yeah, perfect game collegiate baseball league. Things happen pretty fast.
That's right. Let's see how Jack Cup does here. He's been sitting a long time in this heat, too.
Yeah, you go from feeling it, like you could see last inning he was feeling it, and everything coming natural, and then you go sit on the bench for, as we said, for Chai it was an eternity. Also an eternity for the other starting pitcher who's waiting to get in the game.
That's right. And you almost hope maybe the innings didn't last that long to a degree, so your arm doesn't get a little stiff, a little tired, especially in this Meriden.
Yeah.
And
it's such a physical thing. When you're feeling it, it's not just a mental thing, it's a physical thing. Your body feels right, and just sitting is the antithesis of what.
Just
nice
on the
pitch.
Corner there. Great pitch by Kemp. That's going to put at the count 1-2 here.
Wang was not a fan of that call. A little shake of the head.
Gismondi walked in the first inning. And then had a little misunderstanding there with the center fielder, Mathey, and looked to be hurt himself.
Oh, that's a great curveball that was treated really unfairly, I feel like. That one, I think that was a real late break that surprised even the umpire.
And Gismondi, I think, was actually thinking it was a strikeout, too. He's probably a little surprised he's still in there. He's kind of looking back at the umpire.
I'm talking about Wang? Is it not Wang at the plate?
Liner left field, it's caught by the shortstop. Cuts off
I feel like it's Jesmondi coming up now, right? So everything that you were just chatting about with our friend Wang, we can just move forward.
Yeah,
he
100%.
did get hurt.
He did get hurt. He seems to be okay.
Yeah,
he's back in the box there. Wang, we missed the opportunity to bring up that we have a Canadian playing for the Americans.
Surrey, BC. Yep. Canadian playing for the Americans. Ooh, Jesmondi right at his foot. If this was wrestling, you think they were targeting it. You know what I mean? Just pick an area of the body, and then all match, you just focus on hurting it even more.
It's going to be ball 2 there.
Wait a second.
Jesmondi.
It's actually, it looks like Grant Moore. Do they got a pinch hitter up here?
Very is confusing.
Because
they did take
we
him
go
out.
by
Jesmondi,
Andrew.
right?
Knows way more than we do from the Niagara Falls broadcast.
Right.
He's saying Grant Moore, which tends
Grant
to make
Moore,
me think
that Grant Moore is in the lineup. I'm
Yep.
going to trust our friend over there at the American side.
And he's a serious hitter too. Grant Moore leading the league in hits.
Oh, Bishop just gets past him, outstretched there, diving in the infield. Single for Grant Moore. Not Jesmondi, who in fact is out of the game with an injury.
I'm sometimes curious on the positioning because I Bishop playing pretty close to second base there. Maybe good for him. He made it a closer play than you would have thought off the bat.
Maybe that's just a bit of inexperience playing second base, perhaps. Typical
Maybe.
First baseman.
But a lot of the positioning comes down to the coaches too, right?
Mhm.
Like you would expect the coaches to be looking out there and identifying that. I don't know, but who am I again? Just second guessing here.
Passed up here, the catcher hit by a pitch, his first
There's
at
a
bat.
runner.
Grant Moore's going to second. Not
Nice
in time.
tag.
Stolen base for Grant Moore. Dangerous hitter coming into the game, singles and steals a base, puts himself in the scoring position. He's trying to get something going for the Americans.
That's 28 stolen bases for Grant Moore.
That is incredible. In a short period of time, he's only probably played 23, 24 games.
84 at bats.
Wow.
Well, 85
He's just having
now.
a field day out there. That's a shot to Bishop there at second. He looks over at third, but he's going to make the play at first.
Project to. So that's over. This is his 25th game. So that's about times up by 7. So what? He's on like pace for over 162 game season, about 200 stolen bases.
He's challenging Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
Now the real question I think I have: does he have a mustache?
Oh yeah, the big can people with mustaches steal bases. And again, it's more about people with non-conventional stolen base bodies with mustaches.
Right.
Was my point.
Right. But I think you just like mustaches in general, I think, as well. Tattoos, long hair,
I've tried
goggles.
to do a mustache. Maybe it's just I'm frustrated with that.
That's a shot, pop fly, way up in the air. Caden Wilson's under it. Can't make the catch. Caden Wilson drops the foul ball. That would have been out of the inning here, yet everything's going to reset. Grant Moore's going to return to third base.
That was
Carmen
really
Pinero at the bat.
skied up there, but yeah, you want your guy to make that catch.
That's right. Wilson's there talking to himself now, practicing the play in his head. Thought he had it.
Yeah, see if hopefully Kemp can shake that off.
Checks his glove, thinks there might be a hole in there. It looks to be okay.
Ooh,
Pitch just outside.
just
2 for
off
1.
the corner.
Pinero also hit by a pitch back in the first inning there. So it loaded the bases up in the first there, but Jack Kemp was able to work his way out of it. Let's see if he can get out of this jam here. That one's upstairs too for ball 3. Kemp there working around a little bit. Figure out how he's going to get Pinero out. Moore takes a sizable lead off a third. It's off on the pitch. Big strike there by Kemp.
There you go.
It's going to run the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Big test for a pitcher, how you handle that kind of adversity. I remember watching Dave Steve back in the 80s, and he would implode on things like that and make it really clear to everyone watching how angry he was with that sort of that fallibility being showed by his teammates.
Kemp's 4th pitch walk there to Carmen Pinero. That's going to bring Chris Gazzaldo, the shortstop. Struck out at his first at-bat, but he is a big-time hitter in this Americans lineup, hitting .338.
He's at 3 curveballs. That's what 3 strikes and at-bat. So we'll see how Kemp approaches him here. And Gazzaldo's a good hitter, tough hitter.
Inside there for ball 1.
It's not a bad pitch to start off with, though. Inside fastball. Kemp. Gonna be looking for Kemp to pick up Wilson after that. Miss pop-up.
Upstairs for ball 2.
Worry about the body language there a little bit from Kemp. Looking a little frustrated with himself.
Derek gets away from the catcher.
Just missing,
ball 3.
Pretty good takes by Gazzaldo. You got to give him credit. 3-0.
Kemp kind of having trouble finding the zone again here as he works with runners on base.
Just caught the corner.
Just fouls that one off. Kemp working back here, runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payout pitch coming here. Runners will be going on the pitch.
I talked about Gazzaldo's he's a fighter up there at the plate. Generally don't get too many easy things from us. He's got perfect chance for a curveball right here. He's got him set up for it. He's been really comfortable with the curveball.
Way behind
not
Gazzaldo.
so much on that one.
That was trouble from the start for Jack.
I can't remember the last time he threw a curveball for a ball, and he missed badly with that one.
Yeah, and that's in back-to-back walks for this for Jack Kemp there. He's got to load the bases. Logan Stickler, DH here, who also struck out.
From Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania.
Fouls it back to the hot dog stands there. Strike 1.
Hit and pitched in high school, did Stickler. Hit .483. 1385 ops, which is not bad.
It's okay. A foul ball
that
there.
Sounded, that wasn't a healthy sound from that bat.
Sounds a bit maybe like a crack or broken.
It does.
Doesn't seem to be too concerned, though, is he?
Does not. Maybe he heard something different than we did.
Maybe he's going to be in for a surprise if he hits it again.
Yeah. But we had a broken bat single last night.
Yeah.
Broken pink bat single.
Broken pink bat. Sets, steals. Shot up to Caden Wilson.
Another chance for Wilson to redeem himself.
There he goes. Makes the catch, loses the hat. Down go the Americans in the 3rd inning there. 2 runners left aboard. It's still 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Welcome back here to George Taylor Fields, the bottom of the third inning. Niagara Ironbacks 6, Niagara Falls Americans 0. It's been an interesting work here for Joseph Chaya. Looked good at times, looking a little shaky at times. I think he's having trouble maybe locating some pitches there, and he's got himself into some trouble.
Yeah, he's had a chance to reset there on the bench after a long inning from Kemp. Scoreless, albeit, so good for Jack Kemp for fighting through it. See how Chaya does here. And if he can find that curveball in the strike zone a little bit, I think that would help him out a ton. More strikes. It's funny watching him in warm-up. Again, he's like just in the zone with every pitch. And there's the first pitch to Granger, who doubled last time. And he's way out of the zone. There's a curveball. There you go.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that, actually, right? I think both pitchers have sort of had their troubles throughout the courses of the game here, right? Getting men on base, walks, locating pitches, but yet Kemp's been able to work his way out of the jams, and Chaya's had a little bit of trouble, and I think his defense is sort of
about to say
disappeared on him to a degree.
Yeah, there's been some adventures in the outfield there today and the infield, so I feel for Chaya a bit.
Yeah, and I wonder if that works in your headspace too, right? Maybe maybe you're not doing as bad as the score's indicating, right? Like,
I think for Chaya is that his lows have been a little bit lower out there,
right?
You know, and and then when he hasn't been able to spot that curveball at all, the guys are just sitting there waiting for the fastball.
That's right. Yep, just like Alex Keene there with his bases cleared triple back there.
Man, Keene's just been drilling the ball lately. Ooh. You can see a little slump from Brock Granger there, as that was a pretty generous call on the outside corner.
He's going to run the count full here for the catcher, Brock Granger.
He's again
just outside. Leadoff walk. Bring it up. The dangerous Carter Shin. Singled.
At that, you see somebody in the Americans bullpen get up. I think Will Cordero is not a fan of watching potentially another long inning full of pitches out of the zone.
And I think that the thought process probably in these doubleheaders too is you really maybe want your starter to go some innings because you want to try to save some of your arms for 2 games today, right? So Shin, first pitch swings, pops it into the infield. Second baseman under it, makes the catch. Not as adventurous as the previous inning. 1 down.
That's gotta help. That's, getting past Shin.
Right.
That's a big moment there for Chaya. And getting a catch, no matter
from
how
anyone
routine.
In your field, right?
Yeah, on this day so far, he'll take it.
Going to bring Bryce Bertrosian to the plate. Struck out in his first at-bat.
Nice little curveball.
Takes the first pitch strike there, as Darren alluded to with the curveball.
There you go. He's starting to find that. And that's, with the amount of lefties he's going to face, that's a pretty big tool to have available for him. Oh, and you can see Bertrosian's front knee buckled on that curveball.
Yeah, he was full extension swing before the ball even crossed the plate.
Yeah.
Kind of fooled there.
Now you can use your fastball.
Upstairs, though, for ball 1.
I think he struck him out on a high fastball last time, if I recall correctly. So.
He did, yep.
There you go.
Checks his swing, but gets the call. Strike 3. 2 down here, and the second K of the day for Bertrosian.
It's right down the middle.
He's not happy with himself as he bangs his helmet in disgust. Center fielder Chase Hubblehup singled back in the second inning.
Yeah, ripped one right up the middle.
He did. Came around the score there. Nice, easy stroke. That's what you want to see.
That Johnny Cash song, God is going to cut you down, is a bit of a threat walking up to the plate, and he's kind of built off of that.
That's right.
Recently. He's realized that threat from the man in black.
Down and away, gets away from past the catcher. That's going to advance Granger to second base. Puts him in the scoring position here. 2 out.
Infield playing a little bit further back today as compared to where We were seeing the Tarp Skunks play yesterday.
Ooh, high heat there. Strike one.
Probably swung a ball 3 there, but you like to see him going after it. Ooh.
That was close, but that's going to be ball 3.
That was a pretty good looking pitch there from Chaya, who doesn't need those kind of calls. He's got enough things going on today. Oh.
Hubble just misses that one, pops it up, way out of play.
In on the hands.
It's a 3-2 count now. Have Granger going on the pitch.
This would be huge for Chai to get out of an inning unscathed after that last one.
Just outside. It's going to walk Hubble and put runners at first and second here. 2 out. Caden Wilson coming up. Wilson walks his first at bat in that big 6-run second inning. And redeemed himself last inning with a catch and foul territory.
Yep.
After thinking we were getting out of the inning. Drop one there.
I think he walked on 4 pitches last time.
Walked on 4 straight pitches last time. Throws his first strike to Caden Wilson on the day.
That's a good pitch from Chaya. Like high and tight, corner of the zone. Just missed that same spot. Let's see. Feels like he's ripe for a curveball. See if Chaya feels comfortable to throw it here. 1-1.
Ooh, big cut by Wilson. Strike 2.
Wilson felt off that fastball, so I mean, he's got his choice here. Another fastball might not be the worst idea, and a curveball probably just bust him down.
Checks his swing. Strike 3. Chaya gets out of the inning unscathed. Still 6-0 Ironbacks as we head to the 4th.
George Taylor Field. We got the bottom of the fourth. Top of the fourth inning. 6-0 Ironbacks over the Americans. Alan Ramos up to the plate, struck out back in the second inning.
Yeah, you got Ramos, followed up by your favorite personal injury lawyers. Satinoff and Schott.
That's right.
Bottom two in the lineup.
Can't forget that connection. Ramos shows bunt on the first pitch for a strike.
Threw that fastball right past that bunt. Just burned right by it. Lit up the glove.
Ramos followed up by Satinoff and Schott. Ramos and Schott both rising to freshman.
Got there, strike two.
There you go.
By Kemp there.
You got to make Ramos show you can actually hit that pitch, because those haven't been terribly competitive swings by Ramos. I'd throw another one. Just go up the ladder with them.
Oh, to the infield, right to Medora, short, throws over to first for the out. Save! Sam, Petrosian was off the bag?
No, I just don't think I got there in time. I think the ball slowed down in the infield. Medora didn't attack it enough, and Ramos just burned down the line. Full credit to him.
Number 14,
Jack Satinoff.
I don't know, like, well, obviously, yeah. Niagara Ironbacks manager is not a fan of that call. Some words for the base umpire, but I really think he did beat that out.
It was a close play for sure.
Yeah. And you got to think the way he got down to first base, that he's going to get to second base fairly quickly as well.
Fouls off the first pitch there, Satinoff, the extra hitter. Strike. And he singled his first at bat.
Ramos from New York, New York, starts spreading the news. He's leaving today. I really expect him to go to second any second here.
Stolen base guy, Ramos?
What's that?
Big stolen base guy, Ramos?
Oh, let's check out.
Nothing close to Grant Moore, I bet.
He's got 2 stolen bases. Hasn't played a ton, right? So only played.
Our friend from the broadcast of the American says he's got some speed on the base pass, though. So.
Well, you saw him get down to first base.
Yep.
So.
Yep. 2-1 the count here to Satinoff. Inside on the corner, strike two.
Just on the corner.
It's a nice pitch there. I don't think Satinoff liked it too much. Now he's a little concerned. Over with his bat.
There goes Ramos.
Ramos going. Takes second easily there in the stolen base. Pitch was a ball that came in there from Kemp. That's going to run the count full. Ramos on second base with the stolen base. Outside for ball 4. It's Jack Kemp's 4th walk of the game.
Now batting, left fielder, number 27.
Yeah, he's looked good, but it's been a bit of an adventure at times. Not missing by much right now.
No, the second half of the injury lawyers, Liam Shout coming up to bat.
And
He showed an error, his first at-bat there. 2 runners on now, nobody out.
An easy grounder turning into a single was
just
a bit of a fail there.
5-hole of Andrew Bishop over there at second base.
No, I meant to start the inning.
Oh, I think he reached on the 5-hole through the Bishop's legs.
Yeah, just to open this inning, that easy grounder not being an out was tough, and I know he reached on an error to Bishop.
Yep. He gets ahead of the count here, 0-2. Just outside for a ball. Shout getting his first hit of the season on that. Sorry, no, he still didn't get a hit this season because of the air. Time, batter calls time there. Steps off. Sets, he's got his pitch. Ramos going, strike 3, call. Great pitch there by Jack Kemp with his 4th strikeout. Evens things up with walks and strikeouts. It's going to go back to the top of the order here. Tommy Mathey, center fielder, 0 for 2 today. Adventurous in center field, to say the least. Nice socks, though, so there's something to write home about. Just pitch strike in there to Mathey. Ramos is dancing the second base up there.
Yeah. Not even holding the runners on here much. Well, second base a little bit.
It's a chopper to first. Bedrosian throws the second. It's the force out at second, but that's all they get there. It's going to put 2 outs now for the Americans with runners at the corners.
Now batting, second baseman number 31, Ian Hung.
Ian Hung up. Second baseman today, 0 for 2.
Wang batting .311 this season, so tough matchup here for Kemp, who's really walked the tightrope today. You know, you have to think sooner or later you're going to pay for some of those walks.
Right. That's the fear, right?
And he's trying to get out of jail free here once again. Oh, it's umpire pinched him on the outside corner there. Looked like Granger turning around and imparting perhaps a different perspective on that last pitch to the umpire. There you go.
It's a nice pitch there by Kent.
Man, that strike zone is shrunk for this at bat against Wang, and he's got Grant Moore on deck.
You really want to hopefully get this out, not bring Grant Moore up.
You don't want to get to Grant Moore with the bases loaded.
Absolutely not. One swing of the bat, this could be a closer game than it looks right now. Strike 2. Another great pitch by Kemp. Working your way back here, 2-2 count, Darren. What do you think you do here?
Is it 2-2? I thought it was 3-1. We'll see. I think it's 3-1. The scoreboard's not helping us out.
Inside strike, stolen base.
Yeah, Wang with we saw that last night, the old bat toss. Wait a second, can I have my bat back? I thought I was walked, but I was not. And even the PA announcer was fooled by that. Yeah.
3 balls, so full count there.
See, it's everything's in flux here. Everybody's trying to figure out what's up. It's a full count. Ian Wang at the plate. That's strike 3, Ian Wang.
Strike 3, Kent gets out of the jam again. Much to the confusion of us here in the press box, the Ironbacks still lead the Americans 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back here to George Taylor Field, the bottom of the fourth inning. Got the Ironbacks leading the Americans 6-0. Local product, Nolan Phelan coming up. Walked his first at-bat, which is a great sign coming from Nolan Phelan, working the counts again. That's what you want to see from this guy playing left field.
Yeah. It's been a good day for Brock University alumni with Kemp on the mound, Brock University student. Phelan working a walk last time, did not like that call. But again, I wonder, without the mustache, does he get the traction in these arguments that you might get?
That's right. Give me a mustache, maybe umpire might sway your direction.
Yeah, right now the umpire just looks at him and is like, listen here, babyface. I'm not taking any of your guff today.
You touched on Jack Kemp. He's been very effective today. He's pitched himself into some trouble, but he's been doing a great job of getting out of jams. He
has. And his stuff's been sharp.
Base hit up the gut there.
Oh. It's a single.
Bobbled a little bit by Gazaldo is short. And Phelan's going to come in there with a single.
Yeah, you know what? That was a tough hop at the very end. I think he would have had trouble
making the play,
if he caught that ball clean, but the last hop from the infield, which, as the American infield tends to do, was diabolical.
That's right. He really had the go run to his right there as he was playing pretty more to his left. We're going back to the top of the order with the deadly Alex Keene coming up. Hit a bases clearing triple in the second inning.
Keene's done nothing but hammer baseballs all over this field the last week or so. Oh.
Takes a first pitch. Strike? Question mark?
That was strike question mark, because that was a good few inches off home plate, but the umpire giveth, the umpire taketh away. Just missed that one. That was a fatty.
Get out of play there behind the Americans' dugout. And
Keene doesn't seem like the sort of guy to belabor the past, but that was a pitch I think he'd love to do over on.
Absolutely. I was falling behind the count 0-2 early here. Chaya still on the mound. It's had some activity in the bullpen, but he worked his way out of his jam last inning, and they're sticking with him.
Yeah, I think the hook's a short. He's on a short leash out here.
Phelan's going there. The stolen base machine. Ball gets away from the catcher. He's running to third base.
Why?
He says, "My bad" to Richard Griffin. He decided to take second, and his eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. Ran to third base. Picked off at third base. That's going to be the first out of the inning.
I think at this point you could go stand out in front of the dugout and say, "Listen, guys, I know you think stealing third or going to third is a good idea. Just never do it."
I think you gotta just get a
haven't seen
big,
it be a good idea.
Gigantic red flashing stop sign.
Whoa, don't do it.
Keene strikes out. That's quickly how the tables have turned here. We went from no out with one runner on and your dangerous Alex Keene up to no runners on and 2 out in a matter of 2 pitches.
I'll move on, but the base running follies with third base the last couple games has been painful. Painful, yes.
And a lot of them haven't even been close, which is maybe
not even close.
The trouble
that was the closest one.
It almost feels like as soon as you're around second, third base is about a country mile away. Yeah. It's like, when did the field get so long? Why is my run to third base that much longer to get to?
Chai with a really nice curveball there off the hop.
So we got Devin Medora up here. He was singled, but also picked off himself. We talk about the stolen base blunders. Chaya sets here.
Yeah, Phelan, I think it was a bit of a gift, the pass ball for his attempt at stealing second base. But that is the actual definition of looking a gift horse in the mouth and saying, "What more do you have?"
That's right.
I feel like, I know you're giving me something for free here. I want more free stuff.
Or chopper to third there. Ramos takes it, throws it away, though. The door's going to be safe.
That ball, once again, a victim of the death that is the Merritt infield when it just chews up those slow ground balls.
Ramos charging in there from third to make the play, but a little too high there for the first baseman to get to. That puts the Mador on and keeps the inning alive, bringing Andrew Bishop up.
Scoring at a single, today. By the way.
Scored at a single, okay. Bishop 2 for 2 today with a stolen base. Mador going to second now. Ball gets away from the second baseman. He's safe at second base with the stolen base.
I think Bishop's 1 for 2. He got on base via fielder's choice last time.
Was it a fielder's choice?
Yep. Stolen base, though. Stolen base, a caught stealing. Although I think as we agreed yesterday, we're just going to go with got on base.
He got on base. Yep. He's on base. That's really all that matters here. We'll check the final scorings once the game's completed here.
I think the thing with Bishop is you're looking for, the old Kyle Dubas word, process.
Right.
And you'd love to see him start really digging into balls, like swinging right through them, like just hit. There's
one
exactly
right there to right
what
field.
I mean. Here comes Mador home.
Mador's charging home.
That's a
strong
great
throw
toss.
by Moore, but
Just
not in time.
line.
Bishop's going to get to second on the play. Another run scores. It is 7-0 Ironbacks here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Just as Darren was talking, Bishop drives one to right field.
Yep. That's what you've been looking for.
That's right.
I mean, honestly, if you're the manager, you don't care whether it's a hit or an out. You'd prefer it to be a hit, but you just want to see him start spanking some balls the way you know he can.
Right up, because you know what's in there. Tall guy, looks like he's got a really nice swing.
Yep.
He's just been a little late to some pitches there and some balls in on the hands, and I think it's...
Yeah, we've been begging for that exact kind of approach and swing, and then what do you know, Bob's your uncle.
Right there, right on the head of the bat there. Yep. The only thing missing was a loud scream from our PA announcer.
Right, exactly.
I think he's too distracted to the left of us here to know that Bishop's even at second base right now. Marcus Butts up here. He walked, grounded out.
But sometimes...
Another drive to left field. That's going to drop all the way to the fence. Bishop's coming in easily to score. Butts rounded first, goes to second for a stand-up double. 8-0 Ironbacks here, the bottom of the fourth inning. Back-to-back hard base hits there by the Ironbacks.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the bats there.
They certainly have lined up Chaya at this point. Chaya's not fooling him.
Not fooling
the meat of the order in particular.
Granger coming up. He's doubled and walked.
And we've seen Granger work over that Scritch Living sign out there.
First pitch, Chaya kind of gets away from him and hits Brock Granger. That's going to put him on first base. Keeps the hitting alive here. Dangerous Carter Shin up. This is maybe not what Chaya wanted, was to put 2 runners on for Carter Shin. Maybe the hottest hitter in the Ironbacks lineup.
Yeah. And no activity in the pen there for the Americans. It's almost like they're leaving Chai out here to eat an inning, no matter what happens.
Right up the gut there. First pitch swinging for Carter Shin. Runner holds up at third base. That's probably the best possible outcome there in that base hit, as the runner holds up at third base.
And Marcus Butts is almost single-handedly trying to change the tone of Ironbacks base running to be thoughtful and conservative. You know what I mean?
He's hearing you up here. I think
he's like, you know what? I think those guys got a point. Maybe I will just chill here at third base. I know who I am.
That's right.
I know my limitations.
Don't want to get too cute, Let's just hold up. Let Bryce Bedrosian drive us in here.
Bedrosian
He's 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, we just mentioned how the lineup had sort of real tuned into what Chai is offering. Bedrosian has not.
Right. He's had maybe one of his batters have only had a little bit of trouble against Chaya today. Bedrosian striking out on both at-bats. Takes that pitch there for a ball, even the count 1-1.
Big chance for Bedrosian nonetheless to redeem himself after a couple being kind of overwhelmed there, 2 at-bats.
Ooh, big cut there for strike 2. Just a nice soft poke just right in the right field there would be perfect right about now. Just keep this.
Any kind of contact has been dangerous today, so he just has not made any.
Strike 3. Bedrosian strikes out for the 3rd time today, swinging. But the Ironbacks get some more runs, and it's 8-0 as we head to the top of the 5th. Welcome back to George Taylor Field here for the top of the 5th inning. 8-0 Ironbacks over the Niagara Falls Americans after getting 2 runs that last inning there. The ever-dangerous Grant Moore coming up, though, here at the top of the 5th. He came into the game as right fielder Derek Gismaldi and center fielder Tommy Mathey got their wires crossed. Had a little bit of a dust-up there, trying to catch a pop fly. Nobody came up with it, yet Gismaldi seemed to get the worst of it.
Yeah, and it's a Jack Kemp high wire act out here for another inning. He's been entertaining. It's been a little bit scary at times.
Scary at times, but effective. Still putting zeros up on the board, and that's really, I think, all you can ask for at this point.
Yep. And he's got a tough opening salvo here from the Americans in the form of Grant Moore. Nice curveball right on the corner.
That's it, and that's going to give him up ahead of the count 0-2, which is what you want to do to dangerous Grant Moore.
0-2 against a really great hitter. This will be interesting to see how
Stolen
this plays
base
out.
Machine, so you just don't want him getting on any base in any capacity.
Because if he gets on first, he gets on second, pretty much.
Just a bit outside there of that one.
Yeah, and that's the kind of 0-2 pitch you really hate. Because it's not a competitive pitch. Haven't seen a lot of those, in fairness, from Kemp. His curveball's been pretty good today.
It's a high shot there to foul territory. Wilson running, not going to make it there in time. It's going to drop there. Moore's going to get another chance here.
That's a tough one for a third baseman because off the bat of a lefty, it's
and you got your back to the plate,
and slicing, yeah.
To your point there on Kemp, I think he hasn't pitched too badly. Maybe the strike zone's kind of disappeared on a little bit, right?
He's fought through it, like full credit to him, but it's still been
an adventure to the least. There's a pop fly
That's
again.
A great
Another
ball.
Third base side. Wilson's under this one. Makes the catch for the first out.
Speaking of an adventure, he's made that a bit of an adventure there, but he's come back and got him.
He's come back and got him. That one there looked a little scary, I think, at times. Yep. The wind maybe playing a factor.
Yeah, and again, a lefty with the wind, so it's slicing. Good for him.
Nick Pass, the catcher up. 0 for 1, hit by a pitch back in the first inning. The Americans loaded the bases up against Jack Kemp, but he was able to get out of it with a strikeout. Shortstop Chris Casaldo.
I think what's made him so effective is he's been able to throw both pitches for strikes.
Right.
And so you can't go up there just thinking about one thing.
And that's I think what you touched on him at the top of the show, right? Is going to be able to show your two pitches, because then you got to give hitters something to think about while they're up there.
And they're both high quality pitches.
Definitely.
Ooh. Still smoking that fastball. I mean, the fastball hasn't lost any velocity, that's for sure.
No, and much to like we were talking about Joseph Chaya staying in the game, I think the Ironbacks got the same mentality. If he's humming along here, why take him out? Save the arms. You might need him again in the next game. It's a strike call there.
And just a reminder, this is a 7-inning game because it's a doubleheader today.
Yep.
So. Ooh.
That one gets away. I think it might have hit him. Not sure. Either way.
It hit him. I don't know. He didn't seem to care.
No, it looked like a.
Okay, whatever.
Like it kind of grazed him a little bit. Yeah. Either way, you look at it. Nick Pass is getting on first base with his second hit by pitch today. Maybe that's why he didn't care. He's just getting beamed all over the place. Back catcher getting hit by balls, getting hit by the pitcher, the opposing team.
It's already a thankless position, catcher, especially on a day like today. That's another reason that being a catcher is crap.
That's right.
That's the way I'd put it.
Fly ball there, caught by Medora at short. 2 outs here.
So it's stinking hot. You got all this extra equipment on. You're getting pinged by foul balls. Now you go up to the plate, you're getting dinged by pitches.
That's one position I never wanted to play.
I had to play it a few times, and it was against my will. As a skinny guy, it's just not a position that's built for skinny guys.
Kind of like playing goalie in hockey. I was good at it, but I never liked it. I liked being in the action. I felt hanging out the other side of the rink. I felt a lot of times clearing my crease, just kind of waiting for something to happen.
It's a special type of personality. Ooh.
Just outside there.
Muscled up a little too much on that one.
It's going to even the count 1-1 to the shortstop, Chris Casaldo. 0 for 1 today with a strikeout and a walk.
Good hitter. Is Casaldo or is it Panaro? I feel like it's Panaro.
It might be him, yes. Or correct.
Oh, Panaro went. Oh, he didn't go chasing for that one, but that one was a stray from him. Those two were on very different wavelengths there. Panaro's swinging at a ghost there. And once again.
That was Casaldo. Strikes out again for a second strikeout out of the game. Another quick inning by Jack Kemp. Ironbacks lead 8-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
come back to George Taylor Field. It's 8-0 for the Ironbacks over the Niagara Falls Americans. You got a new pitcher on the mound for the Americans. Carter Hall, 16.20 ERA, but only in 3 appearances, so very small sample size. Aaron, you got anything on Carter Hall?
From Indianapolis, Indiana. Yeah, he's played a position player and a pitcher.
Seems to be a theme for the Americans today.
It does, it does. He's actually good friends with Eddie Delansky.
Oh, how about that?
Who we saw last night. Do a real nice job pitching here. Also pitcher and a position player.
So hopefully he's not the same effect as Eddie Delansky there with the strikeout machines he was.
Nice little curveball there that perhaps got treated unjustly and being called a ball.
So we got Chase Hubble up here. He is 1 for 2 with a single and a walk.
I was thinking of Delansky when we were talking about catchers, because that's rare to see a guy who's a catcher and a pitcher.
And being an effective pitcher.
He was really effective last night. He really struck out 7 in a row last night.
Right. Counts 2-1 here to Hubble.
Bottom of the order looking to get something going. As we were saying, Niagara could help out Niagara today.
That's right, just outside. 3-1 the count. Caden Wilson on deck.
Start with Wellens. Chase Hubble. You know, I like walking down by the canal there in Wellens.
It is quite nice.
It is.
A lot of activity there on the canal, actually. People use it for paddle boarding and swimming. I don't even know you can swim in the canal. And there you are every day, people swimming in the canal.
That's a choice. Swimming in the canal
I
is
don't
a
know
choice.
if you want to swim in the canal, but
I'm not in no hurry to swim in the canal. Now it's 8-0. A 7-inning game, bottom of the 5th. Caden Wilson up. Tough at bat last time. You thinking bunt here? Or you think 8-run lead?
I would show bunt.
Swing away.
I would go bunt to try to advance that runner. Like, as you said, we've seen a lot of things happen here at the top of the last innings of games that no score is elusive to more runs.
Yeah, we saw a 7-run lead get gobbled up in 2 innings by the Ironbacks yesterday.
That's right.
Well, Wilson's he's facing a righty this time, so perhaps that'll help a bit.
That's right. He's ahead in the count, 1-0. Hall checked the runner there at first. Goes and deals just outside for ball 2. That was a close one again.
I'll tell you who's not thinking bunt at all is the Americans.
No.
I mean, he's playing off the bag there on third. Like a little bunt down the third baseline.
This seems exactly the type of play I was almost calling for last at bat.
You were calling for it.
They weren't seeing it to be a perfect play. But he swings away and he chops one to first base for 1. Not in time, can't do the exchange clean. Then he throws the ball away, but Wilson wasn't paying attention. Wilson's going to stay at first base. Hubble's out at second. Fielder's choice. That's going to bring up Nolan Phelan.
The left fielder, number 24, Nolan Phelan.
He's walked. He's single today. He had the adventure we talk about daily.
Yeah.
Base pass.
The fun with base running, starring Nolan Phelan.
That's right. Wilson takes his lead off of first. Phelan, first pitch, swings just foul down the baseline.
Hit some balls hard today, though. He's been looking good at the plate.
That's right, and that's what you want to see from your number 10 hitter. To kind of work the counts and swing it back up to the top, right? Yeah. Get on base and let your damage at the top there. Bring some more runs home. Way outside.
Goodness, that curveball.
Wilson easily going to get into second base. That was a curveball that definitely didn't curve.
Yeah, man, that brushed the towers up there, just a flyby. That was behind the ear. Look for low and away, but watch out for behind the ear.
Whoa. Huge crush, another foul to the left field side.
And a hard hit ball being 50 feet foul is always a cue for our PA guy to get excited.
No wonder we make so many mistakes up here, Every time we hear a crack of the bat, our PA guy's going absolutely bonkers. And it makes us think maybe something's happening that we just don't see.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something out there that we're missing. Turns out we're not. It's just a foul ball. Pitch in there.
Goodness.
That one comes there slowly, but it's failing. That's going to put him on there. The hit by pitch.
That's a pitch that maybe you put away for a little while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That curveball has been nowhere near the strike zone.
It's been curving the opposite way you want it to. And that's going to bring...
You're Alex Keene up. You're just slowly like a fastball.
And what's been great about the lineup today for the Ironbacks is he's come up to the bat 2 times now with runners on base.
Yep.
We're giving him something to do out here. Get runners on. Want your best hitter kind of knocking them in.
That is an outfield playing really deep here. They remember that triple.
That's right. Keene swings at that one, just missing from strike 1.
Yeah, if the Americans got any chance, they really want to keep these base runners from crossing home plate. Keene is
just late again on another foul on play. Again, getting down early again. That was kind of the theme for Keene all day today. Down early, counts 0-2.
Now the only problem here with the pitcher is you only got 1 pitch working, so it's 0-2. But I mean, you're gonna throw that curveball,
right? Well, maybe it might curve the right way this time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a no harm, no foul moment, unless you hit him, of course.
Catcher setting outside here. Pitch comes in. As I just said, pitch outside. Ball 1.
One and 2.
Checks the runner at second, deals. Swing and a miss by Keene for a strikeout of the day.
Good curveball in the dirt.
A nice pitch there by Hall. I think they get out of a bit of a jam there with Alex Keene.
Number 7, Devin Medor.
Shortstop Devin Medor up now. He's 2 for 2. Again, we talked about him kind of heating up at the plate, and again, he's nothing too fancy, just a couple singles getting on. But picked off and a stolen base as well. Run scored. He's having a pretty good day. He just fouls one off there to the hot dog carts. Heads up. Sets here, takes again a look at the runners. About to throw to second base, but nobody was there really, so I'm not sure what he's kind of thinking there.
Well, probably thinking about an Ironback trying to steal third base.
I don't know why that would be the fear. She comes in now, in there for a strike. Strike 2.
Good pitch.
Head in the count, 0-2 now. Devin Medor. Pitch in there, strike 3 call.
That is.
We thought it was low, but Medor strikes out looking to end the inning there. 8-0 Ironbacks as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Welcome back here to George Taylor Field at the top of the 6th inning. Ironbacks still having a commanding lead, 8-0 over the Niagara Falls Americans. We got a new pitcher on the mound for the Ironbacks, Matt Rutherford. Number 55, Max Rutherford. I may have mispronounced his name there for a second, but it is in fact Max Rutherford. First pitch strike in there. Pitch in there, 1-1 the count. We can close the day on Jack Kemp, who had a pretty effective day. Only giving up 3 hits there, several base runners based on walks and hit by pitches, but big thing is no runs. I think that's what you can ask for a pitcher.
Yeah, you know, he had to come in the zone there, fight back from some really tight situations, and his stuff in the zone was good. Americans couldn't do much with it. And to be frank, this is not the best Americans lineup we've seen.
Right.
But still, 0-0. So full credit to Jack Kemp. Fastball was good, the curveball was good, and he wriggled out of trouble like a champ.
It's 2-2 count here to Logan Stickler. Strike 3 call, strikes him out, but the ball gets away from the catcher. That's going to be easy toss to Petrosian. Stickler strikes out for the 2nd time today.
Rutherford kind of reminds me of like a Milwaukee Brewers pitcher from 1980. You know, he's got
a mustache,
the kind of 70s hair, the stash.
It's a big, thick-looking stash too from over here.
Yeah,
that's a
real man's mustache going on.
That's right. Better than you and I can grow, I think. So.
Maybe that's what happened with Phelan. He had his stash going on, and then he saw Rutherford come in the clubhouse. And
he's like,
I can't do that. I can't match up to that kind of stash.
That's right. Nothing can compare. I'm lost here.
Late 70s, early 80s stash.
That's right.
He wasn't ready for that.
And Alan Ramos up the plate. He's 1 for 2, strikeout, a single, stolen base.
Just beat out one. Beat out a little slow grounder to Medor. Ooh, got squeezed on that pitch. Just missing the corner. Cause for Brock Granger to turn around the umpire. Maybe contest that call a little bit.
Question is strike zone at this day. There's a strike there. 2-1 the count. Just hitting the outside corner there.
Ramos really seemed to struggle with the fastball there last at bat. You got to make him want to hit that.
Ooh. Bounces in the dirt, just gets away from him. 3-1 the count. The
kind of guys you hate to walk. You really want to see him swing the bat, earn their way on base.
Definitely. Because then you got the injury lawyer Sakaloff and Shout coming up here.
Yep.
Fouls that one off there. Full count now on Ramos, 3-2.
Not a great pitch. I think that was kind of a curveball that up in the zone, and Ramos was behind on it, weirdly.
Fouls it off again. Ramos is battling here. I guess Rutherford.
That seemed to be more an area more to Ramos's liking.
Yeah.
A little low part of the plate. He really looks tied up upstairs.
Payoff pitch here. Just inside. That's going to walk Ramos and put him on base. Exactly what Darren didn't want to have happen. He's going to put a runner on first for extra hitter Jack Satnoff. On base 2 times today with a single and a walk.
Number 14. Mirko Freecher's number for all you, speaking of the 80s Leaf fans out there.
There you go.
There's a reference.
A little deep cut.
That's why I wore
no one, I
14.
think, remembers the 80s Leafs, I tell you.
Yeah.
Or no one wants to remember the 80s Leafs.
That's true. Especially Leaf fans.
Big pop up the center. Hubble coming in there. Routine play. Second out. Liam Shout coming up now. Reached on an error and struck out.
Left fielder, number 27, Liam Schott.
Shot reached base on an error, struck out.
So he's still looking for his first hit on the season here.
Yeah, I seem pretty glum after that last K.
Especially because his first base was taken away by an error.
Yes. Which was more than fair, because that was absolutely an error.
That was 100% an error.
Not Andrew Bishop's finest moment at second base.
For a great pitch there, for strike one. Checks the runner at first base, but he throws it away. Ramos looking hurt because I think Petrosian might have fell on him, but he's going to stop at second base. He's looking a little uncomfortable.
I think Petrosian came down on top of Ramos.
That's, I think, exactly what it looked like from here there. He came up to kind of jump and grab that ball, but...
Did you think he got... Did he come down with spikes, maybe?
Looks like he came down. I thought it was his knee that maybe landed on top of his arm.
Yeah. Ramos seems unimpressed that it happened altogether.
Saying it looks pointing to his spikes there. Nonetheless, he's shaking the dirt off. He's staying in the game. Could use a new pair of pants for the second game, though. Stolen base, second of the game for Ramos.
I guess my question is that, I don't know. It's 8-0. What are we doing here?
Well, but, as we've seen, though, Darren, doesn't mean anything, really. 8-0 that can turn.
Right, and an out's an out, right?
Quickly.
So if he felt he could get out that way, and he did have Ramos leaning.
That's right, he did.
And some pitchers are able to compartmentalize that stuff better than others and not have it impact their approach to the hitter. So I think where we're at right now,
it's 2-1.
you're really down to like 4 outs. So just make the 4 outs. Who cares what Ramos does?
3-1 count here by Rutherford now. I think maybe that ball he tossed away to first has kind of gotten his head a little bit. He's lost the strike zone. I think, too. You say 4 outs. Ironbacks got one more run next inning. It could be over, actually. Upstairs for ball 4. It's got a walk shout. Bring back to the top of the order, Tommy Mathey. He's 0 for 3 today with a fielder's choice. Stolen base. Richard Griffin's coming to the mound, calling everybody back. He just wants to talk to them. He just wants a one-on-one with Rutherford.
Exactly. This is not going to be a big team meeting.
Maybe story time with one player kind of thing, I guess.
Richard
We don't
Griffin's
need everybody else into
time.
it.
Yep. We usually see it with Kakeru Tsukamoto before he comes to plate every time.
That's right.
And really this conversation is going to be, don't pay attention to the runner, get the hitter.
That's right.
Just get the hitter.
That's right. It's 2 outs here, right?
Yeah, devote all your energy, all your attention to the hitter.
That's the right call. Like you said, it's 2 outs here. You just need to get 1 out here to get out of this inning. Keep them at bay.
And it's important for folks like me to remember that these are younger players, college players, so sitting around here, 57-year-old being really skeptical about their choices is unfair. There you go.
Good pitch. Strike 1 there to Mathey.
It's a really good pitch to somebody sitting on, really crowding the plate.
Day calls time, dirt in his eye. Little activity in the Ironbacks bullpen. Take it back. Oh, Stanton over there at second base again. Strike 2. It's ahead of the count early. 2.
See how he does with this 0-2 count.
Shot to Bishop at second, but makes the catch. Richard Griffin's words of wisdom worked. The Ironbacks get out of the inning, still leading 8-0 as they head to the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. We got the bottom of the 6th inning with the Ironbacks leading 8-0 over the Americans. Andrew Bishop, who ended the inning there in a liner, caught after some words of wisdom from Richard Griffin talking to the pitcher on the mound there, trying to settle him down a little bit. Ironbacks taking it to the Americans today.
Bishop with a nice liner in the right for a single, scored a run.
You know, he's 3 for 3 today. Actually, 2 for 3 today, I guess, because their one play was the fielder's choice there.
Yeah. But that last at bat, that's what you were waiting for.
Exactly. That's
to see that.
What we know that we believe that Bishop can do for you, right?
Right, because he almost seemed crossed up within himself when he was swinging. But he was all in on that one.
Yeah, keeping it simple, right? Just waiting for your pitch and driving it.
See the ball, hit the ball.
Ooh, just a little late on that one. That one's fouling back.
See, that one is almost like you feel like his body's holding back. It's not fully committing with his swing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Just outside there, even at the count 2-2. No Hall came into this game and struck out the last 2 batters, Keene and Medor there with runners on base to get out of the 5th inning.
Yeah, start to see some nice signs from him.
Trouble locating that curveball, as
we've seen here.
When he drops it, it's a nice 12-6 curveball.
Right.
Like, with late movement. It's a good pitch. It's just when he misses by, a couple blocks.
Yes.
Like, you got to watch out down at the kiddie pool over there.
Pitch coming in, watch out. Should resets here, 2-2 to count.
Look at those Mr. Freezes. Those look really good today, man.
Barrett is craving a Mr. Freezy. Foul the pitch back again. That's going way out to the Americans bullpen.
Those Mr. Freezes coming our way?
Doesn't look like it there.
They're so close.
Oh, so close, but yet so far away.
Yeah, we could take them.
You could stick with
We could take them.
I don't know. You could stick with your melting chocolate protein bar up here.
Yeah,
so.
that was not a good choice. Speaking of the choices of grown-up
I'm sure we could take the 10-year-old sitting in front of us.
What should I bring to the game today? I'll bring an RX bar and let it sit in my my knapsack here at 90 degrees.
That's right.
And open it, 3 hours in. What could go wrong?
Yeah. Not the wisest decision by my colleague to my right. Oh, big drive there by Bishop, but just foul again. He's fighting it off and staying alive. Fouled off a couple of good pitches.
Importantly, from Mel Romana's perspective, that ball stayed in the park to be used again.
That's important.
That saves them the cost of one baseball by 3 feet.
There's always the baseball up in the top of the fence if we ever go short.
Get that when we're desperate. Can you climb? You think you can climb up top of the backstop?
I'm sure you could probably find someone to get up there.
I know I'm not.
Oh, the sharp drop poke to left there. Gonna fall. Made it an adventurous there.
That went way further than I thought it was gonna.
Carrying pretty far, as Darren said, and as what we like to see is a player losing their cap in the process.
Yeah.
Theme of the last couple days there.
You're not trying unless you lose your cap.
Hey, Willie Mays style, isn't it? You lose a hat up there once or twice, running for a fly ball. Marcus Butts coming up here. 1 for 2 with a walk and a big RBI double back in the 4th inning.
Butts with a real great rip last time, double and RBI. He's been a consistently dangerous guy at the plate.
And again, another guy that you can just see just kind of dialing it in there a little bit and driving the baseball. That's a strike.
Oh, did he call that a strike? That was a delayed call, and that missed the corner, in my opinion.
I was going to say the same thing, and the catcher dropped it, but yet still factored in as a strike there.
Butts has been terrific, right? From Bismarck, North Dakota.
The Penguins fan.
Oh,
Chopper off the mound, or off the plate. Ramos got it. Easy toss to first for the out.
Well, Hall making quick work here at the heart of the lineup. Granger finally gets a chance to face a righty.
There you go. Granger again having a great day. Double, walk, hit by pitch, on base all 3 times today. Got the crowd there in front of us cheering him on. Wonder if they're the crowd with the freezies.
Yeah. Again, I didn't really mean it. We wouldn't really try to take those freezies. We probably wouldn't be able to, first and foremost.
No, we're both very passive-aggressive. We probably stand around for 6 hours hoping they just give it to us.
Looking with sad eyes.
Please, can we have one?
Sad eyes, boy, it's so hot. It's so hot.
That's right.
Wonder what could make things better here in this hot
We probably
day.
wouldn't even ask if they would share. We'd probably just sit there and kick some stones and hopefully they'd feel bad for us. Ooh, that was a nice pitch there by Hall.
He's got a sweet swing. It's real tight, real quick, real power in it. He's a goalie growing up. The one game you weren't here, I went over the possible Ironbacks hockey team. A couple goalies. I believe Bedrosian is a goalie as well.
It's kind of the theme of the Ironbacks. Lots of goalies, lots of cat catchers.
Hall's been real good this inning. Real competitive with all his pitches. Way better inning for him. Marc-Andre Fleury fan.
Wow.
Who's not a Marc-Andre Fleury fan?
Exactly. I was just going to say, everyone loves Flower, right? Yeah. Great personality. Excellent goalie in his day.
Yeah. In his day, like this year, he's still an excellent goalie.
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, just recently retired himself, but you're right. I still have the visions, though, of the World Junior Championship late in the game where he banked it off the butt of Braden Colburn. Shot to second base there. Oh, the first baseman gets it. Throw to first for the save. Wow. Not in time. That was a bang play. That was a great play by the first baseman over there, diving to his left.
It was, and not a great throw, though. I think he put Hall in a tough position over there to cover.
He did.
Although Hall touched his chest like that's on me, and I think he meant he didn't get there soon enough.
Yep.
So that he had to go there, and unless the throw was perfect, he wouldn't be able to handle it.
It looked like from here he almost thought maybe that the second baseman was going to make the play, but then he had to get on his horse and kind of get the first base as he saw.
And that delay. That delay kills you.
That's right.
And Granger isn't exactly burning it up to first base, but he still got there.
That's right. It's going to bring up the dangerous Carter Shin. First pitch swinging, foul ball to the outfield, off the bleachers. Siren maybe a little late on that one, but it's okay. It's 40 degrees. He's sweating it out, probably begging for a freezy himself.
Where did they get those freezies? Are there freezies like for sale here?
You can ask Mal behind us. Maybe Mal might know.
Strike two, good pitch.
Strike two, ahead in the count there. We're going to get down to this freezy crisis in between innings here.
He's talking like there might not be any freezies left, which is like, I don't think he even thought about us.
What
about the talent? What about the talent?
Does he know we have fans? We have people commenting on us here. Shot to right field by Shin, right at the fielder for the out. Quick work by Carter Hall there, and the Ironbacks go down in order. Still leading 8-0 as we head to the top of the seventh. Welcome back here to George Taylor Field. We still got an 8-0 lead for the Ironbacks as we head to the top of the seventh. The Americans down to their final 3 outs here to potentially salvage this game and get it into extra innings. Got some defensive substitutions as Andrew Bishop moves from second base to first base. And Darren, who we got coming in at second base?
Kakeru Tsukamoto enters the game. It's a big chance for the Ironbacks because this could be the first shutout ever.
That's right.
That hangs in the balance. And alongside of that, in conjunction with that, is the opportunity for 10 lucky fans to win Beechwood Donuts, which is
always a treat.
Yeah.
And also, my first home win to see in person.
Timeout. And Beechwood Donuts has the creamsicle donut back. 4 different flavors of creamsicle, too, I believe.
Wow. That has to overshadow my first win.
Yeah, whatever you were about to say wasn't as important.
Not as important as the creamsicle donut.
Yeah. The creamsicle donut is the top shelf donut at Beechwood Donuts.
You heard it here, folks. Go down to Beechwood. Get there early because they sell out fast.
What day is it today?
It is
Saturday?
Sunday.
It's Sunday? I think it closes at 3. I know this because working across the street.
That's okay. There's still time.
I know their hours.
Chances are you can go there first thing tomorrow.
Yep, they're open on Mondays.
Call ahead. Order early.
I work tomorrow. I'll be there. I'll be having a creamsicle donut. And here's my thing. If you go into Beechwood Donuts and there's a lineup and you're standing there, decide on your darn donuts. Don't reach the counter after a 10-minute wait and not know what you're going to get.
Is this like the Soup Nazi Seinfeld situation where you just don't know what's happening?
What were you doing for the last 10 minutes? Do you know what I'm saying?
Probably getting frustrated that you're waiting in line for a donut. So,
Max Rutherford, PI on the mound. I think that's what I'm going to anoint him now. Because that's a good Thomas Magnum stash.
That does look a little bit like Tom Selleck, doesn't it? Pop fly there by Ian Wang out to right field. Alex Keane under it for the first out of the 7th inning.
2 outs away from 10 donuts.
Don't be jinxing it now. The fans are all like hyped up for a creamsicle donut. Don't crush their dreams. This place, they come to Meriden for dreams to become true.
That's right.
Not to be broken. And let's hope that Grant Moore does not break our dreams today.
Grant Moore's at the plate. He is a ruiner of things.
He could hear us crying for donuts and just end it with one swing of a bat. So,
ooh. Max Rutherford got pinched on that pitch. Looked like it caught the corner, but okay. Grant Moore coming into this game as a replacement, as you mentioned, Jesse, to Jez Mondi, and they had about 2 innings of just wild infield, outfield plays that didn't go well.
It was giving us some bad news Bears vibes out there.
Absolutely.
Not knowing who was getting where and who was getting what.
The old Murphy's Law going, or whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Remember at work one time we had a thing. I worked at a factory and we'd lost. There was some damage to a thing we were working on. And a guy said, so our manager was really angry, and a guy I was working with said, hey, it's Murphy's Law. And he said, who? Eddie Murphy? So that's a pretty good line.
Pitch upstairs, 3-1 count to Grant Moore.
Moore making Rutherford work here. Missing high. And that's trouble because when Moore gets to first, he usually immediately gets to second.
That's right.
And the donuts are now in danger.
That's right, Darren. You spoke too soon. I told you. You just got to kind of keep the fans at home or getting in their car. They were looking on the menu. They were pulling it up on their phones or computers. Now they're unsure. Nick Bass coming to the bat. He's been hit by 2 pitches today. He's probably feeling a little worse for wear.
How long do you think it'll take for Moore to be standing on second base?
Good question, Darren. Hopefully a lot longer than we both think and know.
Our PA guy calls next pitch.
Now maybe the benefit is you got a lefty on the mound who's got a pretty good vantage point of Moore stealing.
Yeah, I got picked off first base in this park one time by a lefty. Hadn't seen a lot of lefties. It was a good move. And
it's a high pop in the infield. Bishop calling for it, chasing it down. Can't make the catch. And he's going to get the out at second there. That might be the best possible outcome of getting the speedy Grant Moore out at second. But that's a second routine pop fly drop today for the Ironbacks. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them.
We're 1 out away here, Jesse. Max Rutherford, PI on the mound, solving crimes.
That's right.
Off the island.
Panero down up here. The Americans down to their final out. Carmen Panero, first baseman, also hit by a pitch today. Walked. Flew out to center field.
Aaron's unsure of his scorecard. He's just going to go with what works. Wild pitch there. That's going to put past that second base, puts him in scoring position. I think we go back to the last inning there and just think, don't care about the runner, just focus on the guy at the plate.
Yep.
You're 1 out away from getting out of this inning and winning this game.
Rutherford took his glove off, rubbed the ball up a little bit, regained focus. There you go.
That's a
strike one.
there. Pass getting a big lead off a second.
Oh,
way upstairs.
Goodness.
Way upstairs.
Yeah, he amps up for that one.
It's going to be 3-1 the count. Good work there by the catcher, Brock Granger.
Yeah.
Keeping that one, hitting the backstop. That could have potentially moved past over the third.
Granger's done good work behind home plate today, I thought. This guy has to have been a long game back there.
He's made a couple nice throws to second base, too. That one's outside again, back to back. Not back to back, but 2 of the last 3 batters to walk here.
And speaking of not wanting to give guys extra chances, I think, Gazaldo's not a guy you really want to give an extra shot
That's right,
to,
0 for 2 today with a walk and 2 strikeouts. So you know he's going to be looking for something to drive.
Yeah.
Cash in some runs. Break the hearts of those fans looking for the creamsicle donut.
And
Ruin the potential shutout bid for the Ironbacks.
And he hasn't really been himself so far this game.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
So he's wanting to get on the good foot going into game 2.
It's just outside for ball 1.
Gotta make him want to swing the bats here. Like the walks are. You're up by 8 runs. Make him hit the ball, man.
Let's go to fast. Whoa!
That's it.
Got him out. Ball got away from Granger, but his quick throw gets sleeping at first. Panero, and the game's over. 8-0. Fans are getting donuts. First shutout in Ironbacks history at home. We'll see you soon for game 2 of this doubleheader.